Welcome to episode 18 of my Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, where we leave Rawlins, Wyoming and venture into the stark, windswept Great Divide Basin. My hiking thermometer showed temperatures soar to a scorching 122 degrees Fahrenheit one day. That's 50 degrees Celsius. Tracing historic Wild West routes like the California, Oregon and Pony Express trails, we walk in the footsteps of pioneers. Our journey ends in Atlantic City, a quirky, near ghost town with a rich gold mining past, offering a glimpse into Wyoming's rugged history. Join us for a searing trek through an iconic landscape. We are heading out of Rawlins, heading towards Atlantic City. And we've entered the Great Divide Basin, highway over there to the right, which we'll sort of join back up with. Breezy now, quite warm. It's all quite green out here, which surprises me. I guess it's the last of the snow. It's all quite green out here, which surprises me. I guess it's the last of the snow. We've just picked up our first fellow traveller. This is Golden, who's hiked the Appalachian Trail, done the Pacific Crest Trails as through hikes, and he's going to section hike the CDT to finish his Triple Crown. So he's heading towards South Park, Atlantic City, the same as us. So we should be able to hike on together for the next few days. So here's the water source. Doesn't look that nice, does it? But underneath this little lid, we can go out here, lift up. There's beautiful, clean drinking water. So that's us, 17 miles now to the next one. With a full pack of 5 days of food to get to Atlantic City, plus water, it's going to make a tough walk through the basin in the hot sun. But I'm not complaining, as I keep reminding myself, I could be back in Colorado. I can't believe the incredible change the scenery in just a couple of days. It's only 2 days, 3 days now. We woke up tent covered in snow in the forest. Now we're in a red desert, as they call it, which is the Great Divide Basin, and it's just wide open, dry, a first water source was 16 miles. Is that right? And then, no, I think it was 11 miles. And then the next one up, that's 17 miles and onwards. So just a big dry stretch. Gets a bit better after that. How's the view that you'll notice? 2 has now become 3 because we've met up with Todd, who I met the other day, as I spoke about. So now we've got Golden, Todd, whose trail name is Stuffsack, and one and only Chip Crusher. There's almost no shade out here at all, and the sun beats down upon us. All my drinking water is now made warm to hot by the sun, and so while it is rehydrating, it isn't very refreshing. It's Golden's first day on trail, and he hasn't got his hiker legs up to speed yet. He let us know earlier he was going to finish earlier than us, but he's going to start early tomorrow, and so will catch up with us then. At 7 PM, Chip Crusher and I decide to call it a day, but Stuffsack says he's going to continue on a bit more, but I'm sure we'll catch up with him later tomorrow. We set up camp in an open meadow down off the roadway. It's a bit breezy and the sun is still hot, but we have a great view of the setting sun. Both Chip Crusher and I are desperately short of water, but we have got just enough to get us through tonight. We'll have a quick dash tomorrow, over 11 kilometres, 7 miles, to load up and rehydrate. Morning everyone, back into it. I've still got about 90 miles to go to get to Atlantic City, so hopefully trying to do 3 30-mile days and get there in reasonably quick time. I said last night, we're out of water, only got that much left. I've only got that, seeing as I saved it from last night. I've still got about, can't remember, 11 k's I think to the next water. So not too bad. A couple of hours, we should be back under control. But it's a beautiful morning. Sun is up early. It was quite warm last night, so I got a good sleep. And looking forward to a good day. It's beautiful out here. Big wide open expanse, totally exposed to the sun. Mostly just sagebush, scrub and grass. But it's beautiful out here nonetheless. I make it to Bull Springs, which was very much needed by the time I got there. The little water I had didn't last very long, and the days warmed up pretty quickly. At this spring, I have to take my shoes and socks off to wade out a couple of metres into the centre of the spring to access the 2 drums that have the clean drinking water. We caught up with Golden, who was already here waiting. He must have started very early this morning, as we were a long way ahead of him last night. A little after that, Stuffsack turns up as well, so it's all 4 of us back together again at the spring. Just like a herd of animals, all the humans are meeting at the water source too. We had an extended break here, drinking plenty of water, and I even had some Spam superfood in a wrap. It was nice to take a little time out to have a rest and rehydrate before heading out into the next dry stretch. It's a dry, barren, desolate place out here with not much going on. Just a long straight road. The next water source is located 14.6 miles away, or 23.5 kilometres. That's going to take us at least 5 hours and more, probably 6, through the hot desert sun. I've packed out my maximum water carrying capacity in 2 1-litre bottles and my 700ml drinking bottle. Hopefully that will be enough to get me through, but really I should be carrying more. We sit down for lunch and we are left to bake in the hot midday sun. Can you believe my temperature gauge reads 50 degrees Celsius? That's a crazy 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Lunch is not so enjoyable in this heat and it's hard to get the food down. It all seems so gluggy. While I sort of have enough water, it is not so enjoyable to drink as it is so warm, almost hot, from sitting in my pack exposed to the sun as I hike along. Everything changes, however, when we reach A&M Reservoir, and gee, it is a welcome sight.
Oh, okay.
I was long out of water by this point, and I was sick of drinking the water that I had as it was so hot. So the first order of business is to quickly filter some nice cold water. This tastes so nice, but more importantly, the next order of business is to get the gear off and go in for a dip.
That is great. Getting right out. That's what I did the first time. Freezing.
Chip Crusher goes straight in, clothes and all. He reports that it's pretty cold and I soon follow him, and sure enough, it's not quite freezing, but pretty close.
That's a good thing, you know.
But anytime you get in water, it doesn't take long to adjust, and it's really so nice and refreshing. It's like being in a giant ice bath, and my body feels so much better for it.
Trail or whatever. Like if people put in gut hooks also, like you should definitely, it's worth going the 1 mile off trail. Lake, it's like the better one of them all. It's like 900 foot deep.
Where's it?
In the Wind River, like the circa of towers.
After a splash around for about 20 minutes, it's time to get out and keep moving. We still have about 9 miles, 15 kilometres to go to the next water source and our campsite for the day.
Oh, feels so good after that.
Look at these incredible electric blue dragonflies. That little dip and splash around was amazing. So refreshing. It's freezing cold, as you'd imagine when you first get in, like a little ice bath. But I feel so much better for it. Could use one of those most days, I reckon. But we're going pretty good today. Done about 37, nearly 38 k's now, and we've got about 8 miles to camp, which is the next water source. So it should be a good day if we can get in 30 plus miles. Gets us closer to Lander in a couple more days. The trail is continuing on through this vast nothingness. It's amazing to see how far in the distance the road just seems to go on and on. But you keep plugging away and eventually you get there. After 12 hours and 40 minutes, we reach our final water source for the day. It's the best kind of water too. Water pumped from a spring with access straight from the pipe. As it is late in the day, there are lots of cows here too. After filling up our bottles, we continue up the trail for about half a kilometre so as not to disturb the cattle or prevent them from accessing the water. The last 3 miles were pretty tough as the trail is all soft, deep sand, just like walking along a beach. It is not fun to walk on and my shoes get filled up with sand as well, but I'm not complaining as I constantly tell myself I could be in Colorado. We set up camp at a junction in the road. It's a beautiful evening with the wind dying off. The camp area is nice and dry and flat too. There is the most amazing full moon rising low on the horizon. A great end to a fantastic day. Last night was the night of the 4th of July, but out here in the middle of the Great Divide Basin, there were no fireworks spectacle. It was just us and the cows. But we did have the amazing full moon, nature's own light display. This morning, I wake up to an amazing view out of my tent. On one side, the sun is beginning to rise, and out the other side, the massive full moon is setting. It is just spectacular. On top of that, my old friends the coyotes, which I haven't heard in a while, made a welcome and vocal reappearance.
Here's my early morning fan club.
I took off up the road from camp only for me to realise after about half a mile I was heading in the wrong direction. It's probably a good idea to check the navigation app before I start walking off in future. It wasn't too bad though, as I was able to go cross country and cut back across to the trail.
I don't know what the true geography is of this Great Divide Basin. I've been on a steady climb upwards now, and I wonder, after being into our 3rd day since Rawlins, we're starting to climb up out of the basin. Be interesting to see what's on the other side. We get up around through that gap over there. Here's a look back at the basin. We've come from way over in that distance there, but you'll notice as we climb higher up out of it, the instant scenery change. Not sure whether the camera picks them up, but way out there in the distance is some snowy peaks. Yes folks, that's where we're heading, back to the snow on the mountains.
I'm having a shocker today. For the 2nd time, I've just wandered off up the wrong road from the last intersection. There is a herd of cows with a big Angus bull there, and I think I just subconsciously took the road that skirted around them. This time there's no cutting across back to the trail, so that's another half mile for nothing.
Well, this is one of my worst water options. Well, I've got 12 miles to go to the next one. You can see there's a nice big cow paddy floating right there. Doesn't look the freshest, but we're going to have to take some because it's hot and dusty and dry. Well, it seems that was a bit of a false alarm, thinking I was coming out of the Great Divide Basin. So as I look out there, going over the high point for today, It looks like we're dropping straight back down into it. Here's a group of wild mustangs of Wyoming and a cow and a calf. I think I can see the colt from Old Regret out there with them. Walking across this ridge line and the wind today is crazy. I'm heading north, the wind's gusting out of the west. One of those ones where you have to lean into it just to remain upright. And even then it picks you up and moves you over a metre or two.
So we got the CDT hiker water cache here. So whoever overnight this was super nice of them. And then we got some bowls and some Gatorade.
Yes.
And a logbook to sign. And we're very thankful.
Very thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I witnessed a stunning sight when a grey coloured Mustang comes up over the ridge to check me out. Most wild horses, when they see or hear you, take off in the other direction. But this horse just ambled up over the rise and surveyed me intently. It was an amazing sight and experience.
We are surrounded by angry bulls. They're everywhere.
Yesterday, Chip Crusher startled a bull and I jokingly warned him that the bull would come back to get him in the night. And sure enough, at about 11 PM, I was woken by the unhappy sounds of a bull walking through our camp. I wasn't sure what to do, but just lay there in my tent hoping not to get trampled in the dark. We continue on in a similar vein to the last couple of days, walking along dirt roads and tracks. The day started off with a light cooling breeze, unlike yesterday's roaring winds.
Hello, little cow. Hello, little baby. what I've been doing for the last 3 days, 150 k's. You just follow these roads as they wind round and round. They go up over the next hill, and you think there'll be something different on the other side, but no, usually just more antelope bounding away from us, and another winding road over to the next little range. Sorts of wildlife around here at the minute. Cattle over there. There's 2 impala just on the trail up ahead. And there's a big group of brumbies, or not brumbies, mustangs. Oh, 2 little baby antelopes running. Let's see if I can zoom in and get them. And the mustangs in the background. It always amazes me where you can find half decent water. Sometimes you just have to compete for it. Look at these guys. There's still very little going on out here. As you can see, we are getting closer to those mountains.
Our next oasis in the desert is the Sweetwater River. The water is running swiftly, but it is not very deep. Just perfect to be able to sit on the sandy bottom while the water laps around my neck. The water is so revitalising in this harsh desert environment. It's not as cold as the A&M reservoir, but just the perfect temperature to escape the midday heat. Ah, this is living, I say, the Chip Crusher. I could happily sit here for hours, but Atlantic City is waiting for us, and we are not going to get there sitting on our backsides in a river in the middle of nowhere. The big thing about today is that we are hiking through territory that is home to some of the most famous old-time trails in America. So many people were moving west in the 1800s, and all those wagon trains passed through this area. After another 50-kilometre day, we make it to the junction where the road leads down into Atlantic City. The CDT continues straight onward, heading to South Bar City, but despite hearing that Atlantic City is totally closed, we head on in to check it out. The first business we come to is Wild Bill's Guns. The town indeed does look closed, especially as it's now after 6 p.m. But a gentleman comes out onto the balcony, and the first thing he does is inquire if it's Chip Crusher with the American flag. Someone who drove past us out on the open road rang ahead to Bill and asked him to thank Chip Crusher for carrying it. Bill informs us that everything in the town is indeed now closed, but not to worry, and he invites us up onto the deck where he will organise us some dinner. After dinner we sit in conversation for hours, and Bill recounts a number of stories from his upbringing. It gets to 9 p.m. and it's time to make tracks. Bill suggests a campsite about a mile out of town where we can free camp, but we decide to head further into the town just to check it out. Chip Crusher suggests we can camp in the front yard of the Miners' Grub Steak, a saloon, bar and restaurant. That way we can take advantage of their early morning breakfast. What a fantastic idea. Great thinking, Chip Crusher.